Hello everyone, I'm Corporal Hamster and welcome to round 3 of the Ginetta GT4 Challenge. First for the results after round 2, Lars extended his lead at the top after his second place. I moved up to second after a win. Richard moved into third, which moves him into joint third overall, and Gerald struggled with his race and he moved down to 7th. Both Carl and Jake picked up their first set of points, which puts them in 14th and 15th. And as for the team standings, Hamster Racing Junior increased their lead at the top of the table over Hamster Racing, who also increased their lead over third. With the points gained, Powermaxed Sim Racing moved up to 10th and their junior team up to 13th. So after a pretty poor qualifying, I'm starting in 14th. I'm getting gear issues and I'm getting camera issues, so as I pull away, I'm pulling off in the wrong gear. I can't see where I'm going, so I'm trying to adjust my camera as I go to be able to start the race properly. And then we see a car spinning off in front. I don't know what happened to him there. I'm still trying to adjust my camera. I'm just not getting any luck. I don't know what's going wrong with it. So what I do, just to get out of everyone's way, I pull over, sort my camera out. But unfortunately by the time the camera's sorted, I'm in 23rd position. So now I've got a lot of work to do to try and get some points. I need to make up at least 8 places to be able to get into the points. So now I've just got to keep it smooth, keep it quick, and hopefully make those overtakes, and hopefully a few people in front of me, due to the weather conditions, are going to spin off. So keeping it nice and tight and smooth on the hairpin, trying to get a good exit, which I do. And as you can see, for most of the race I do keep the lines pretty well. There's a few incidents where I get off the line, but thankfully not too big of a mistake. So now I'm focusing on the car ahead of me, just trying to catch him up. So down into second for the 2 right-handers, which can pretty much take us one. And you get a little bit squirrely over that bump sometimes, but I managed to get straight before I get to it. And down to the last corner. It's quite a tricky one, this. If you get on the throttle too soon, you can end up in the wall on the right, but I take it alright there. And that's the first lap complete, from 14th to 23rd. Now I noticed through most of the race, that first corner, I seem to have a better line on speed through there, so I do make a lot of time up on that corner against other people. I'm slowly catching 22nd place up now and clawing my way back. I see a little bit squirrely on the exit, getting on the throttle too soon in that attempt to try and catch the next place up. Through his chicane again. And as you see, a car on the right rejoins back in front. So now at least the next opponent is right in front of me. Now I just need to get away past him. See another car on the right. As well, a lot of these Powermaxed cars that you're seeing aren't actually Powermaxed. The way we've got it going is, if anybody's got a custom livery on, they will show up as Powermaxed. So there's a lot more Powermaxed cars on the grid, unfortunately. But now I'm in 22nd position. I've made that one place. Just need to make a few more. Out in front, Matt, TBP Matt, he set the fastest lap in qualifying by like half a second. And I'm pretty sure he just stays at the front the whole way, no issues. A couple of his teammates worked their way up into 2nd place and 3rd place. So I've got no chance of catching them up, but points are points, and we need them all we can get. Trying to brake as late as I can into the hairpin, and we'll see he got on the throttle too quick there and went off to the right. So I keep that nice tight line through the chicane. Not getting on the throttle too soon for the next corner. using that rumble strip, using as much road as I can so I can get on the throttle as soon as I can. And again, using the rumble strip, need as much space because I'm trying to make that time up. I know I'm not the fastest guy on the track, but as long as I can keep it consistent, then I'm in with a chance of making up a few positions. So I've pretty much halved my gap between me and this guy in front now from when I set off, and that corner helps massively. So now I'm hoping I can get a good break into the hairpin, get out of the corner well, and then I can be up behind him. So you see he runs a little bit wider on the exit and he puts the throttle down a bit too soon, so I get up the outside of him. So now I'm up into 21st place. Oh no, about 20th I think. So I see there's a big pack in front. I know if I can get amongst that pack, I'm in with a chance of making up quite a few positions. So I'm pressuring the people in front and people in front of them making mistakes and forcing the guy behind to make a mistake. I know if I just keep a good line, don't have to be the fastest, as long as I make that, stick them lines, I can make up them places. And we'll see a car there spin off. I think that may have been Richard Dempsey, or Demps151. A little bit twitchy on the exit there, but thankfully not too much of a mistake. I'm starting to make progress now onto that group in front of me. Notice they have split down a little bit due to the little incident on the last corner, but there's still 4 of them there that I can catch. And as you can see in the replay view in the top left, the guy I've just overtaken is trying to stick with me, using me to get amongst this pack in front. So while we're not really doing much, just if you could leave me a comment below on what you think about my commentary, as this is the first time I've done a full commentary. I'm hoping it's a bit better than just letting the race run. But yeah, leave a comment, tell me how you think, what you think about it, what I can improve on, as that helps me out massively for my next video. So now we're coming up to the last corner, and behind this pack there's about 7 or 8 cars there. So that's exactly what I needed. I needed a big group of cars so I can make up some of them much needed positions. So now I'm just biding my time, waiting for the opportunity to pass, as I want to do it as clean as possible. But I need to do it as soon as possible, so I can start making more progress. Like, just trying to figure out where this guy's slower, and he goes a bit slower into the corner, so I try the outside route. Doesn't really work out for me, and I lose a bit of ground on them again. But I've caught up with them once. There's no reason I can't catch up again. So going through the chicane, I've started making my progress back up to his bumper. But a little bit twitchy on the exit, too giddy on the throttle. As you'll see quite often in this, because I'm trying to make that time up, I'm trying to get on the throttle as soon as possible, and it just doesn't work out sometimes. And you see one car spin off to the right. I'm hoping he doesn't bounce off the wall into me, which he doesn't, thankfully. So that's another position made. So into the last bend. using all the track again. There you see I gained a little bit of ground just by the line I take over the line the other people take. Car off to the right, so that's another position made. I'm right on his bumper now. He sticks to the right for the inside, and I just back off. There's no point in trying to force my way around the outside. It doesn't always work that well. So I just tuck it back in behind him and try and take the corner as smooth as I can. But I was a bit slow on the exit, so I lose a bit of ground to him. Up over the hilltop. I've not got great distance between. I've lost a bit more ground, but I know I can catch that back up. Just got to make sure I'm clean and consistent. See the car on the right going slow. At first I thought it was a rear marker, but it turned out to be for position. I believe that was Colin Colt making a pit stop. I'm guessing he had damage. So then knowing that I can use this line again, catch a bit more time up. So I've made another position now. A bit too much throttle again there. It's so easy to do in this wet weather and the rear wheel drive cars. But thankfully I noticed soon enough and I backed off and I was able to correct it. And when you're in this position, it's so frustrating knowing that you're faster than the guys in front, but you just can't get past. And all you can do is wait and bide your time. There's no point in wrecking both of you and wrecking the race for both of you. And especially as I'm at the top of the championship fighting for points, I need as many points as I can get. And Lars, who's at the top of the championship, wasn't able to make this race, so I'm trying to capitalise on that and get as many points as I can and close that gap of 6 points up. As I know, he's a fast driver. Now, as we see there, the guy gets a really poor exit out of the first corner, so I get a good one, but I run onto the grass, and thankfully he tucks in behind me. So as I run wide, I don't collect him. So you see, he got a good drive out the exit there, and he stuck with me. But I got a bit more speed. So he tucks in behind me, ready for the chicane. It's a very tough corner this to overtake on. It's not even worth an attempt. So thankfully the guy behind knew to tuck in behind. Bit of a squirrely moment for the guy ahead there. You see he darts over to the right, but he catches it. I need to capitalise on that drive up the hilltop and get back behind him. A little bit of curb on the inside there, which is not a very good idea. But down into the last corner again. And over the line, start the next lap. Seems like the guy in front's got a little bit of damage as well to the rear end. So I'm hoping that'll slow him down slightly in the straights so that I can claw back that extra little bit of time on him. Again, too giddy on the throttle, trying to get out the corner as quick as possible. Thankfully I gather it up and don't lose out too much time. So I'm still trying to get past these guys. I just want to make up as many positions as I can. And he runs off wide there. I believe that guy in front is RS40. He was saying he had issues with the guy in front of him lagging. And he said he noticed that it was me behind, and he knew that I was at the top of the championship and didn't want to make any rash decisions that could ruin my race. But he got a slow drive out of the last corner, so I get out the inside of him towards the first corner, outbrake him, and then use that, what seems to be my favourite corner, to my advantage, and I managed to pull a little bit of a gap on him. As you can see behind the orange and blue car, he's been sticking with me for a while. He's now behind 40, and he's, as you'll see later on, he passes him and he gets back up behind me. I'm trying to again catch up to the car in front. It's not actually a Powermaxed driver. It's just, the other problem with this game is, with big lobbies like this, is it changes all the graphics of the cars. So it just puts some other random graphic on that the car wasn't originally in. So it's appearing to me now as a Powermaxed car. I believe the driver in front as well is his Steam name is Ballin. But I know I get stuck behind him for quite a while. I just can't find a way past. Again, as I've been doing the whole race, just trying to keep it smooth through them corners. With these wet conditions, I'm not wanting to spin up, even though I do. I'm just trying to claw my way back up. So it's a very tough corner, that left-hander. It's so easy to overdrive it and go out wide and end up on the grass or end up going slow. There you see, I misjudged my braking point. I hit the back end of Ballin. I caused damage to us both, unfortunately, but I let him back in front. Thankfully, nobody lost any positions. But as you can see, the orange and blue car behind's got right on my bumper now. He's taking a think about up the inside of the chicane. Thankfully, he thinks better of it, tucks back in behind me. And after my misjudgment, luckily I've not lost any positions. But now I have got a bit of front end damage, so that's going to slow me down, which, as you'll see, helps the car behind stay with me. And there's a few laps now where he's right on my bumper, and you can tell he's trying to find a way to pass. And it's so difficult in these situations where you're trying to overtake the car in front, but the car behind you got the same idea and he's trying to get past you, so you're having to attack and defend at the same time. So challenging. But thankfully he doesn't put too much pressure on that I make a mistake, and I've still got enough breathing space to be able to attack this guy in front. I think now this could be the battle for 9th or 10th place. So I've made a lot of progress going from the back of the grid up to mid-grid. I know I'm in the points now, so even more so now, wanting to not make any mistakes. I'm not quite wanting to settle, because I know I'm faster than the guys in front. Took took a little bit too much curb on the inside there, which slows me down slightly. But I managed to hold on to it. It's so easy to hit that donut curb and just flip the car up on 2 wheels and then just spin out. Thankfully that doesn't happen this time. I run a little bit wide there, but so did the guy in front. So I'm now pretty much back on his bumper. But as you can see, there's a bit of a traffic jam behind me now of cars just being held up. So I'm hoping I can get past this guy and then he can do the same for them guys behind as what he did for me, knowing that I've got damage and I'm going to be slower on the straights. So I'm right up his bumper after a good drive through the first corner, but I know there's no chance of overtaking, so I back off early. And now after the previous incident with him, I'm a lot more cautious on this hairpin, and I back off really early just to make sure that I don't slam into the back of him again. Like, getting that power down as soon as I can, run a little bit wide on the exit, but it's all good. Car's still behind me. He's contemplated a move, but he took back in knowing that it's very hard here. Make sure I tuck it in nicely on these, see him run wide, so I know this is my opportunity now to get up his inside. And down the straight, I see 2 cars in front of me pull on track, so I know there's a potential another 2 positions. You see the guys behind also getting past after his mistake. So now I just plan it again. I believe in front now it's Smokey Adam and Toxic in front of him. Both good friends that we've been racing with for a while now. So I know if I kind of know how they race. So I can hopefully use that to my advantage. So there I misjudged the braking again. And I go to the left to avoid him. The guy behind just catches my back bumper. Thankfully it doesn't cause any big incident between us both. That could have been disastrous. Could have so easily spun both of us out there, but thankfully we both got away unscathed. So now I know as well the laps are drawing to an end. I think we're about 3 or 4 laps towards the end now of this 20 lap race. I know there's 2 positions. I'm sticking with them, so I know there's a possibility to pass. I'm just wanting to make the most of it. There's a bit of a gap now behind, bit of breathing space behind me. He takes the wide line out of the corner. I'm starting to notice the car in front of the one in front of me. He takes the wide line on the hairpin, so I know if I catch up to him, I've got a good chance of getting up the inside of him there. And into his chicane again. You see, he runs off wide, so he waits for his opportunity to rejoin safely, and that's another position gained. I think now I'm up into about 7th or 8th. See that little twitch there over that bump out the corner? It can so easily catch you out if you're still coming out of the corner and catch the bump at the wrong time. Also, what you don't see at some point, there's a couple of other cars. Because the lobby's so big, some of the cars are missing off the grid, as you'd have noticed off the start line. But I made a couple of overtakes on invisible cars. But as I was racing, they obviously were there. So now he gets a bad drive out of the corner. I get up the inside of him, knowing that this corner, I can stick it up the inside and hopefully get a good drive. I catch a bit of grass under braking, which doesn't help, but I get a good drive out and I keep the position. And now I know he's defending hard against the guy behind, so I'm wanting to make the most of that and get away and pull away from him to give myself a lot more breathing space, knowing that I'm potentially going to be slower with the damage that I've got. So now I think this is me up actually into 5th place. About 2, maybe 3 laps to go. You can see a car in front, but looking up at the radar, I could tell that was a rear marker. I think I had about 5 seconds gap to the guy ahead. It's a possibility if he makes a mistake, but also being the position that I am now, I'm not wanting to push too hard and make a mistake myself. So I just wanted to take it nice and steady. As you can see, the car in front as well, I'm closing the gap on him now. Thinking a rear marker, so it would be helpful if I could get past him, as he could slow the cars down behind. As I don't want that pressure in the last lap. In fact, I think it's this lap. The car in front was an invisible car, and at the next corner that's coming up, I think he spun out there. So I managed to gain another position. But I'm pretty sure I crossed the line on this lap in 5th place. A little bit squirrely out the last corner there. Easy done, but I managed to hold it. I think we may be on the last lap now, lap 20. Just wanting to bring it home. So a car pulled up on the right, he's obviously having a bad race. See the guy there, rear marker, he knows he's moved over, he's done the right thing. Thank you very much, whoever that was. He lets the car behind through as well, and then nice gap for him to tuck back in. But as that car behind's got through, I'm conscious now that he could catch. I'm just wanting to be as fast as I can, but not go too fast and make the mistake. Obviously, apologies, that wasn't the last lap. But I know we're very close to the end now. As you see from that first corner, I take it a little bit tight on the inside, and then this corner I run slightly wide on the exit. I'm feeling that little bit of pressure now, knowing it's the last lap. I've come from 23rd up to 5th, not wanting to make mistakes. Thankfully the hairpin, I take it alright. The guy there moves over. I think I was the guy parked at the side last lap. So I'm coming up to the chicane. Just want to take this nice and steady, and I don't know what I'm thinking, but I just outbrake myself and then lock up onto the grass. I have to avoid the tyres, which cause massive damage, and I get a cut track penalty, which then allows 2 cars through. You only saw one, the other one's invisible, but he's in between me and the car that you can see. Last lap as well, and just nothing I can do, unfortunately. Too close to the end. I do make both of them run wide on this corner, and I do catch up behind them, but there's just not enough time. Maybe another lap I might have been able to do something, but we'll never know. So I've gone from 23rd up to 5th, then back into 7th, and then across the line for the final time, and that is round 3 over. So now let's move into the results. So after a win and a pole for Matt, he takes 416 points and moves to the top of the standings. My battle to 7th gives me the points needed to close the gap at the top, and I'm now tied 1st. Lars, despite not being in the race, manages to hold on to 3rd place. Richard drops to tied 5th. Gerald unfortunately disconnected from the race, so he drops down to 13th. Carl couldn't make the race due to work commitments, so he moves to 18th place. And Jake also had a struggle in that race and moved to 20th place. In the team standings, Hamster Racing Junior remains on top. With Matt's win, Team TBP overtake Hamster Racing, but with the points gained, Hamster Racing also closes the gap to 1st place. The Powermaxed Sim Racing team unfortunately drop a position, and the junior team, there is no change there. The next race takes place on the 9th of August, and it takes us to Silverstone, so join me on Twitch for that, and you'll find a link in the description below to that. You'll also find a link to Demps151's channel. He'll be uploading his point of view of this race, and he'll also be streaming the next one. So guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my fight back there. Please like and subscribe for more Project Cars racing, and leave a comment and let me know how I can improve, as I'm pretty new to this. Every bit of help counts. So until next time guys, thank you, goodbye.